Hey girls, welcome back to Heartbreak to Hot Girl with your host, Natalie Vanessa. This is episode 3, and I'm super excited because it's episode 3. I know you're expecting to have some big announcement that, oh my gosh, she got engaged. No, it's episode 3, and I'm excited because that means I've done this 3 times. I have recorded or attempted to record this episode. I think this is probably the 5th time. On one of the episodes, I got about halfway through. I said, no, I'm not feeling it. I wasn't feeling the vibe of it. I had written down some notes before. I had a little script I was following. And I just felt like that's not me. I feel like you guys don't tune in to hear something really polished. I feel like you guys support me because you like me. And I need to learn to feel comfortable in that you guys rock with me because I'm Natalie Vanessa. That's why you're here. And I love that. I really do, because the feedback as well, side note, like the ladies that have been reaching out and sharing their story and just saying how positively they've received this podcast, it has really warmed my heart. Honestly, I don't get used to you guys messaging me, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not like I'm just like, oh yeah, someone else is saying that my content's good. Each and every single time, I'm just like, wow, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. As an anxious attacher, as I am, I need the reassurance, girls. So thank you for the messages. But as you can see from the episode title today, we're going to be talking about repurposing your pain. And you guys have heard my story. You know me now. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. But I am the queen of repurposing my pain. In fact, if you can see the visuals, I've got a lovely big cup of tea here. I'm actually drinking some Red Bush. I'm a new fan of Red Bush. Oh, side note, girls, I'm loving the Red Bush tea. And I've got a big mug of it now. And on my mug, it says Queen of Everything. So yeah, Queen of Everything. Let me take a sip. Was my throat? I'll tell you about that in a sec. Slurp, slurp. I'm actually recovering from a flu. So girl, I'm really showing up for you guys today. I'm really saying consistency. Yeah. So if you hear some bits cut out, it's because I am coughing. Okay. And I've had to just cut that section out. Anyways, should we get into it? Shall we get into it? I've got the notes, but do you know what? Natalie's going to speak from the heart. Natalie's just going to give a message, whatever message that is today, but it is about repurposing your pain. And I'm literally in real time repurposing my pain right now because I didn't feel great this evening. So Friday evening, I didn't feel my best. I didn't feel my usual bubbly, happy, go lucky self. And I don't know about you, but for me, I can feel when I'm about to spiral downwards. And I don't mean like in a very dramatic way, but I can feel when my mood is about to plummet. And I was literally teetering on that edge, and I thought, no, we're going to take this energy, this discomfort that I'm feeling, this pain that I'm feeling, this low mood that I'm feeling, and we are going to repurpose it. And what we have now is a podcast episode, because I decided to repurpose how I was feeling, not to ignore how I'm feeling, because I'm acknowledging it right now that I'm not my usual self, but I'm not holding on to it and feeling shame and guilt over it. I'm using it as an opportunity to, one, let you guys know that if you feel this way, you can do something positive. And two, I didn't have a two. There was just one point there. Anyways, let's get into it. So for a lot of the ladies that listen to this podcast, a lot of you guys are single mums. So I can only imagine the fact that you are single mums, you've probably gone through some kind of heartbreak, whether it's a divorce, breakup, separation, or something. I'm assuming there might be a small majority of single mums here that were, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you've chosen to be single mums. You might have gone through, is it IVF, and you've got a sperm donor, like you've gone down that route. Anyways, but I'm talking to the heartbroken girlies, and if you're not a mum, you're absolutely welcome here. This is not just a single mum channel. This is for all women, okay? But if you've gone through that heartbreak, it's something that is really difficult to deal with. It is uncomfortable. It's not something that people enjoy. It is something that people run away from, and I think quite a lot of people run away from it. Quite a lot of people go through, and I'm going to use the example of divorce because that's my experience. They'll go through divorce and they will just, their whole mission is just to bounce back as quick as possible. And do you know what? Side note, do you know Some people absolutely terrify me. The ones that terrify me are the ones that come out of long-term relationships, marriages, and jump straight into a new relationship. I mean, I'm not, listen, if you've done that, hey, I hope it's working out for you. But for me, you need to breathe. You need to grieve the previous relationship, at least for a year. If you've been with that person for more than 10 years, I feel like you need a couple years just to reframe your mind and really allow the pain to come in you, be you, and for it to go from you. I don't feel like you can always do that in a new relationship. Some people may agree, may not agree, but people that just jump from relationship to relationship, they scare the hell out of me because I'm like, have you processed your pain? Or are you carrying that pain or using the new person to soothe your pain? Because the thing is, guys, side note, pain will always come out. You can push it down as much as you want. You can suppress your feelings as much as you want. But that pain, that anger, those feelings will bubble up and they will come out in different ways. And the problem is, when you push them down like that, you then don't have a choice on how that pain represents itself, how that anger represents itself. You don't have a choice then, because what you're doing, you're causing pressure. And at any given moment, you could burst. And the outburst of the pain, falling off, we call it crashing out. You don't want to crash out. Okay, a lot of us are in our 30s. We grown ass people. We don't want an unplanned crash out. I'm all for a planned crash out. Like, if you say one summer this is my crash out period, I'm here for it. I'm here for the girlies having a good time, okay? But unplanned ones never end well. They don't. And the way we can avoid it is by acknowledging the pain, welcoming the pain. I know it sounds crazy, but sit with the pain, sit with the sadness, sit with the grief. What are we rushing for? What are you rushing? Why do you want things to go back to normal so quickly? Why? Sit with it. And the people that sit with the pain and endure that difficulty of the pain are some of the most emotionally stable and healthy people you can find, because they actually process their ish. They just don't sweep it under the carpet. They don't just push it down. They deal with it, and they're not afraid to deal with it. Now, if you're listening to my podcast, and the podcast is called Heartbreak to Hot Girl, for us to go from the heartbreak to the hot girl, you have to be your heartbreak. You have to feel that heartbreak. You have to cry, sis. You have to cry. You have to feel down. And this might not be the message you want to hear. You're probably thinking, oh, this is a bit depressing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Life, the reality of life, it can be depressing. Let's stop wanting our lives to be, daisies and flowers all the time. It's not realistic. There are highs and lows with life. And when it's low, you just ride it out like a wave. I remember my therapist telling me that emotions are just waves. Just the same way you have a surfer on the sea, ready for the waves to come, same way we should treat our lives with our emotions. Sometimes we might be up. Sometimes we might feel like we're in control. Everything's going good. We ride that wave, and then the wave might crash. It might go down. But the thing is, we learn to ride it when it's up, but when it's down, we don't accept it. We think, oh no, my life's falling apart. Oh, it's been 4 or 5 years since my divorce. Like I should be together. I should have it all together by now. Who created the timeline for healing? Because if someone has, let me know who it is, because they're wrong. There's no set timeline for healing. There are stages that you can go to, grief, anger, acceptance, all of that. But you can also go back and forward, up and down, in and out. It's a messy process. And we're dealing with emotions that are just not guided by logic. You're trying to think with your logical mind, right? Logical thinking says there's a beginning point and an end point, and there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 step process. That's logical thinking. Your emotions don't sit in the same part of your brain. Yeah, believe it or not, they don't. They're not governed by time. They're not governed by any measurements. Emotions just are. And pain, anger, depression is just emotion. But the thing is, we put negative connotations onto these emotions. It's us that says, okay, I'm heartbroken, so that means I'm a terrible person. Or you start shaming yourself like, oh no, Nat, like I should have myself together. Now I'm still crying over this man after 6 months. What are you doing? This is embarrassing. Can you see how we add the narrative onto the pain? It's not the pain itself. The pain itself is what it is. It hurts. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to remind you that you're bloody human. The pain is just a reminder that you're human. But what we tend to do is add things on top, and it's the things on top that create that weigh us down. Shame and guilt, those emotions, listen, those feelings, they could end up killing you if you allow it. Sorry, I need a sip of my tea, my throat. So I hope you're following me, and I hope sometimes I be a bit harsh? I don't know. But I care about the women that follow me. I care about the women that are listening, okay? Because I know a lot of women follow me because they relate to my story. So I see myself in you guys. When I speak to you guys, I'm like, I was where you were at a couple of years ago, and I wish I had someone to talk to me like this. As much as I want to say, girl, like, it's fine, just get back up, get back out there dating, da da da. No, deal with the pain. You need to cry. You need to cry. You need to feel it. Feel. Because maybe for so long in that relationship, you didn't feel. You became numb from all the cheating, all the lies, the betrayal, and everything that you went through. You just became numb to it all. Now it's time to awaken the emotions, awaken the feelings that you have, because that's the only way to allow them to be processed. Another way we can look at pain, because I like to see emotions as neutral energy. It's neither good nor bad. I mean, yeah, we can. Follow me. So someone could have broken your heart. They have now basically given you an opportunity to receive all of this energy. Just when you're consumed with pain and heartbreak, that energy you feel is strong. Sometimes you could feel it in your chest physically. It's like it takes over your life. That's how strong that energy is. Now, the reason why I say it's an opportunity, because how often are we given such big amounts of energy? Because happiness is very fleeting. It's a quick moment. It's like, here we are happy, and then it's gone again. But pain, feelings like anger, despair, they're big energies. And we're talking about repurposing that energy today. So when you've gone through that now and someone has basically handed you this big ball of energy and say, here, hold that. What are you going to do with it? This is where you can literally change your life. And this is exactly what I did to change my life. I took that pain of the divorce, being cheated on countless times, being lied upon countless times. I took that pain and I fueled that directly into something that I had dreamed about all my life. So my example was I always wanted to own my own home. That was my thing. I wanted to own my own home. So I said, right, I'm going through this at the moment. I'm feeling the pain. I'm allowing myself to cry. But what I am going to do, when I stop crying, I'm going to wipe those tears. And I'm going to jump on Rightmove. I was on Rightmove day and night. I'm going to be on the phone to my mortgage advisor. I'm going to save like crazy. I became so obsessed with the idea of me living in my own home as a kind of an FU to my ex, but I don't really want to make it too much about him. But it was more of a, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for me against all odds. I'm picking myself up and saying, yeah, I'm not letting this end my life. I'm taking this pain and this energy right now and I'm putting it into my search for a house. And that's how you build resilience, ladies. That is exactly how you build resilience, because we cannot control what energy is thrown our way. We cannot control what obstacles come in our lives and what happens, but we can always control how we view it. How do we perceive it? How are we going to repurpose it into something positive? And I believe this is the test of life. This is the test of life. Life is not here to be happy clappy all the time. And I think we need to get rid of that notion. Like we need to let that die. Life is not happy clappy all the time. Life is life. And what makes life so beautiful is that as much as we have the highs, there are lows as well. And the reason why we enjoy the highs is because we know what the lows feel like. Imagine you'd never been through pain or heartbreak. You wouldn't know what it's like to feel peace, or you wouldn't appreciate the peace. Me now, I'm in my flat, right? Friday evening. Nobody's here bothering me. I'm so at peace. And I don't just feel the peace. I feel grateful for the peace because I know what it's like to feel like on the other side. I know the direct opposite of my peace was unrest, was emotional despair, was pain. I know how that feels because I felt it, ladies, as well. I allowed myself to feel it. but now I can be grateful for these moments as well. So we need the balance in life. And I don't know if it's the Libra in me talking, because I am a Libra, okay? And I am all about balance, as you know. I can be very in depth. I can be, I can be shallow too. I can be fun, all of that. But we need the balance in life. It's so key and it's so important. So yeah, back to repurposing. So you've got this ball of energy now, right? And what some people end up doing, they hold on to it. They clutch onto this energy, this pain energy ball. They hold on to it. They seem to think that the person that gave it to them said that, oh no, you can't drop that. You got to hold that. You got to hold that for the rest of your life because I've given it to you. And people accept it. And they walk around this life with the pain on their back, the depression and everything, not realizing that they can just change the way they think. They can change the way they think and turn all that energy into something positive. Another way that I do this is going to the gym. If you're not a gym girly, I'm so sorry, but you need to become a gym girly. And if it's not the gym, go for a run, girl, go for a walk. You need to move your body. If you're babes that don't like to work out, you're not going to like my podcast, guys, because when you're coming to me asking me for advice, best believe my top advice for everything is exercise. That is one of the best ways to repurpose your pain. Exercise, because you're physically doing something. Pain, like I said, pain is energy. And if we hold on to it too much, it manifests in other ways. Physiologically, it will manifest into, I don't know, stress does things to the body. It can cause inflammation, it can cause acne, obesity, like all sorts of things that it can cause. So exercise is the one of the greatest things that you can do. And that is how I went through my transformation. As you know from my story, my transformation started with me running. I had no clue why I was running. I just knew I had to run. And I used that pain. I would cry while I was running. I would cry my eyes out while I was running. And I literally was processing the pain while moving. And that is the best way to do it. Another way you can do, obviously exercise is top on the list, but another way you can do it is think, okay, how can I help other people? How can I help other people now? And I've had a lot of ladies reach out to me saying that they also want to share their story. They want to share their story about what they've been through. And they're asking me, how do I do it? And some of the advice that I give to them is make sure that the pain that you're experiencing, you're not just offloading that pain. You're not just handing the pain to everyone. One thing I hate to hear and see are people that tell their story, but you can tell that they're still going through it. There's no purpose to their story. It's literally, I'm telling you my pain and that's it. That's great. But I feel like that should be done in a setting with a therapist. But when you're coming onto a platform, if you're coming to share your story with women to help them, there needs to be some kind of solution for them. There needs to be some kind of empowering moment for them, some advice for them at the end. It's not enough just to say, I went through X, Y, and Z. We hear you. We feel you. We do. But what's the purpose? What's the purpose of you sharing your pain right now? Because if it's a trauma dump, that this isn't the right space to do it. The social media is not the right space to do it, to trauma dump, I tell you, because if you're still going through your pain and going through your heartbreak, that is not the ideal place for you to be vulnerable, because people are mean on the internet and I get some really horrible comments. In the beginning, it bothered me, but not so much now. And it's because I really healed from that. When I tell my story of what I've been through, it sounds like to me, I'm talking about someone else. That's how detached I am from what I went through. If you're not at that stage, if you know, and be real with yourself, girl, on this podcast and whenever I do my content, we're all about realness here. If you know you're not there, that's fine, but don't force it. If you cannot speak about your story without getting upset, crying and angry, you're just not ready yet to share your story to help others. That's the reality of it. But it will come. Maybe you just need to feel your pain a bit more. Maybe you need to process it a bit more for you to then get your lessons from it, for you then to really understand and reflect. What have I learned here from this heartbreak? And on this note, I did have some questions. So I call it the heartbreak audit. Some things that you can ask yourself when you are going for the heartbreak or dealing with your pain. There are certain questions you can ask yourself. Okay, so with the heartbreak audit, what you can start by doing, and sorry, I'm looking at my phone if anyone's looking at the visuals. I've just got some notes on my phone as much as I want to speak from the heart. But I feel like these questions and like pointers that I've put down, I have to read them from this so you can really take note as well. So if you've got a notebook near you, pen and paper, something, or your phone, just jot this down and this probably can be your homework. So I'm calling it the Heartbreak Audit. And basically, I want you to list 3 things that your heartbreak has taught you. 3 things that you have learned in that heartbreak. And this is going to come after a period of, you've gone through the crying stage, right? The feelings aren't as raw anymore. Like things are starting to calm down for you. It's always important to reflect. And this is what takes you from the, active being in pain to holding that pain to now repurposing it. Because what the aim is to make sure that you can be a positive touch point for someone. Like your story can be a testimony for someone. It could be encouragement for someone, but you have to know what your story is. You have to know what did you go through. So some of these things that you can list. So list 3 things that this heartbreak has taught you. Okay. List 3 ways that you abandoned yourself in that relationship. For some of us, it might be more than 3. Let me sip my tea. I know for me, it's probably more like 10, but let's stick with 3. List 3 ways that you abandoned yourself. And list 3 gifts you gained from the experience. I'll say it again. List 3 gifts that you gained from the experience. And that bit might be difficult. That bit might be tough because you'll be thinking, I didn't gain any gift from getting a divorce. But if you dig deep, if you start looking and really truly reflecting, you will always find a positive in any situation. And if you begin to train your mind to think or to look for the positives in horrible situations, do you know how powerful you'll become? Do you know how unstoppable you'll become? Because like I said before, we cannot control what happens in this life. We cannot control what people do. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we think. And if we can train our mind that no matter what is thrown our way, and this is how I live my life. I know for me, no matter what is thrown my way, I will always, Natalie Vanessa will always come back. And that is how you need to talk to yourself, ladies. You need to set, do you know what we did? If you were with me for, I think it was the first episode. Yeah, I did the mirror task where you got up and you looked yourself in the mirror. I want you to do that again now, girl. I want you to do it now. If you're driving, sorry, do this afterwards. But if you're at home, look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, call yourself by your name. Look at yourself in the eye again. And I'm doing it to myself right now. Looking at my webcam. Natalie Vanessa, you are unstoppable. So say your name and say, I am unstoppable, and mean it. Keep on saying it and mean it. And the way you're unstoppable is that literally life will be throwing you all these balls. You're going to catch every single one of them. You're going to catch them and be like, oh, thanks for that. And you're going to throw it straight back. Thanks for that, universe. And we throw it straight back. We're not holding on to pain. We're not holding on to the pain to the point where it brings us down and it makes us depressed and ruins our life. We're not doing that. We're not. We're repurposing it. That's what we're doing. So I'll go over it again in case you missed it. The Heartbreak Audit. Going to list 3 things that this heartbreak has taught you. List 3 ways that you abandon yourself. Be real. You don't have to share this with anyone. Just write in your book. This is your task. This is for your own personal development. I'm even going to go away and do this as well for myself because I like to always evaluate. Always. That's how you grow, ladies. That's how you grow. And list 3 gifts that you gained from the experience. You do that task properly. That's going to put you in a really good position to really understand your own heartbreak story and how you then can tell that story to help others. But until you've done that, there's no point. There's no point just saying, I want to tell my story because I just want to offload. Offload why? For what purpose? For what reason? There's an intention behind everything. What are your intentions? Because if your intentions are just to bash your baby dad, we're not doing that. As much as I would love to, and girl, I do teeter on the line sometimes where I might say things that I shouldn't, but my aim is not to bash him, even though he does deserve it. Anyways, my aim is not to bash him because my story, yes, he contributed to the story, but it's not about him. My story is about me. Your story is about you and how you bounce back from it. So let's not get caught up in talking about, what the abuser did to you or what your ex did to you or whatever. Yes, mention it, but the focus should always be, how did you rise from it? How did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? Ask yourself those questions. And that is how you repurpose your pain. And once you've done that, let's start looking forward now. Let's start looking at what's the future me going to look like? So I've gone through the pain, I've repurposed it, I know my story, I'm feeling better. What will that future lady look like? What will that future hot girl look like? What's she going to be doing? Start imagining. And what kind of body does she have? What kind of clothes does she wear? Where does she go? What kind of friends does she keep? Because maybe the girl that was in pain, the girl that was heartbroken before, maybe she can't hang out with the same friends anymore. Maybe she can't go to the same places that she'd been frequenting before. Maybe she needs to go somewhere different. Think about, what does that future you look like? And maybe you can't think years in advance. Maybe you just need to think 6 months in advance. What does she look like? What does she tolerate? What are her boundaries? Because we need to know that. Okay, we need to learn that for sure. What are her boundaries? Who is she dating? Is she dating? What is she doing? What is her daily routine? All of these things. Begin to envision the hot girl that you want. Whatever version of hot girl you want to be, envision who is that. Because hot girl, when I talk about heartbreak to hot girl, I'm not just talking about, the typical Instagram baddies on Instagram, like, they've got makeup and they got short skirts, whatever, hair done. Yeah, that's one version of a hot girl. But we want to be hot girls inside and out. Yeah, we want to be the hot girls that know their boundaries. Hot girls with high self-esteem. Okay, and that shelf in the back. Do you know what I mean? We want to be hot inside and out. So what does that mean? What do you value in that? What do you value? Write it down. But yeah, I hope you guys found that useful today. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from and the importance of repurposing that pain. But today, the message is repurpose that pain, sis. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. If you feel like this episode will be great for another woman that might be going through something similar at the moment, please share it with her. Please send her the link. Tell her to listen to it because it may help. It may help save someone's life. And I know it sounds like, girl, relax. You're just doing a podcast. But some people don't have people in their support network or their circle who speak positively like this. They just don't have it. So honestly, if you know someone that's going through it, send it to them. It might save their life. It might help them. It might inspire them in some kind of way, shape or form. Because I know when I was going through my stuff, I would love to hear something like this. Just to show me that, oh my gosh, this woman went through the exact same thing as me and look at her. She's thriving. Look at her. She can do it, So I shall leave it there, guys. I shall leave it there. So yeah, remember, guys, heartbreak is not the end of your story. It's just a bit of a plot twist, baby girl. It's a little plot twist. It's your opportunity to be like, we're changing up the script. We're changing up the story. The heartbreak is the pause, not the end. And I want you guys to remember that, okay? I got you. I'm here for you. You know where to find me, guys. I'm on Instagram under NatalieVanessa.x and I'm on TikTok, same handle. You can also follow the Heartbreak to Hot Girl Instagram account, which is at Heartbreak to Hot Girl. Made that easy for you guys. So drop me a follow. I would love to get to at least 100 followers, guys. I think we're like on 90 or so now. So drop me a follow over there. Drop me a follow on my personal. And yeah, drop me a message if there's any particular topics that you want to hear for me to talk about. Should I start doing dilemmas? That just popped into my brain. I'm going to do that. Next episode, let's do some dilemmas. I'm going to put something out. If you've got some situations you're dealing with, baby daddy drama or something, whatever, send in your dilemmas and we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it open and honestly. Girls, I was doing so well. Why can't I speak now? We're going to talk about it openly and honestly. And you know what? Sometimes I give you guys a bit of tough love, but it's because I want you guys to do and be better. All of the listeners, all the hot girls, I want you guys to really get there. I do. And I believe that you will, because you're already making the right decision, the right choices, listening to a podcast like this, because you want to be better. You might be crying now, but the fact that you are trying and seeking and looking for positive outlets and positive things is already telling me that you're halfway there already. You may not feel it. You may feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm still upset. But the fact you are seeking help in some form, whether that's therapy or listening to podcasts like this or reading self-help books, you're doing a lot more than most. And I need you to give yourself credit for that, because there's some people going through what you're going through and they just succumb to the pain. They just say, listen, I ain't bouncing back from this. So let me just let it ruin my life. Let me hold on to it and make it turn into business. Some people just do that. You, even if you're just quietly saying it, maybe you're not even confidently saying it, that you want to fight back, but you're quietly saying through your actions, through your decisions, that I don't want to stay like this. I want to be better. I also want to have a story of me buying a home. I want to have a story of me starting my career again. I want to have a story about me becoming a content creator and podcaster. You guys can do all of this. Honestly, I'm probably no smarter than you guys. Like, it's just that I show up every single time. It's just I have belief in myself and say, I'm going to do this. That's it. And the fact that you have the idea to even do it is telling me it's in you. Because when I was going through with in the trenches, I always had this little niggling feeling that I was going to be something. And yeah, people might listen to this and laugh and be like, oh yeah, whatever, nah, like, sure, you're going to be something. But I knew deep down that I was going to be something. So if you have that same feeling, and as I'm speaking, if that is pulling at your heartstrings and you're like, yeah, she's talking about me, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Act on it. Even if you're scared, even if you're fearful. And I don't know why I've gone on this tangent now, because this ain't even the point of the episode. So I must be talking to someone. But if you have that thought and it won't leave you, you need to act on it. If it's a thing where it keeps you up at night and you're thinking, oh no, I need to write that book. I need to do this. It's almost like it's haunting you. Because that's how I felt all those years I always felt haunted about doing something more than what I was doing. I always knew that I couldn't just go to a 9 to 5 and just do that job. I had to do something else. I've tried YouTube before, I've had my own blog before. Like, I always knew I needed to tell some story, but I didn't know at the time my story was still being written. My story was still being written and I didn't know it. So your story might still be being written right now. Maybe you're not ready to release it, but don't give up on it. Like I said, if it's something that keeps you up at night, if it's something that just keeps on popping into your brain, telling you that, no, this is what you need to do, you got to call him. You have a calling and you need to listen to it. You need to, because the world needs to hear your story at the right time. So make sure all the things that we mentioned today in the episode about repurposing your pain, ask yourself those questions, do the audit on yourself, and I'll put them in the show notes as well. I'll put the questions there so you can jot it down and really, really get to know yourself, really evaluate your life, reflect on your life. So when the opportunity comes, when now you've got the confidence to fully step into your purpose, you're ready. You know how to tell your story. You know how to connect with people. You know how to empower people because you know yourself. Don't skip over that step, ladies. Don't. This is all opportunity here. All opportunity. The pain that you're feeling is opportunity. Stop looking at it as, woe is me. Why did this happen to me? No, this is an opportunity to have the greatest testimony that you could ever have in your life. That's how you got to look at it. Not everyone's given the opportunity. Just think about it. Some people have a very calm and stable and if not boring life. You've been gifted this opportunity to show a massive comeback. You can't fumble that opportunity. You can't. You can't fumble that opportunity to have one of the greatest success stories of all time. Yeah? All right. Anyways, ladies, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week. Stay positive, stay hot, and stay woke. Anyways, ladies, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.